All right, there we go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. Good evening to everyone who's tuned in around the country on our live stream. So my name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending the next 45 minutes with you as we go through our business introductory presentation. It'll involve a little bit of background about our business, but mostly the bulk of the presentation is what the benefit is for our guests. After the presentation, you're very welcome to ask me any questions that you might have. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, we're a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. So Constantia has been operating fairly successfully in the insurance space for nearly 70 years. We were founded in 1952. You're thinking, well, if they've been around for so long, why have I never heard of them? Because typically Constantia has never dealt with consumers before. They've never directed any of their efforts or marketing at the general public. They've always dealt with other insurance businesses, other financial service providers, because what they do traditionally is always underwritten other insurance products. But for the first time, through this division called DuePoint, we are interfacing directly with the public, so you'll become a lot more familiar with this company and the brand. We are listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital, so you are very welcome to go do a background check on us. Go to DuePoint's website, you can go to Constantia's website. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there, so that's our FSP license number. We've got a number of financial licenses, being a long and short-term insurance license. We've got an investment license. We've got that FSP license, and you are welcome to go check those too. They're on display on our website, on Constantia's site. You can go to the FSCA website, and they're also printed out and framed on the wall outside above the water cooler. You can see we take credibility very seriously, and we have to build up credibility, because typically if you haven't heard of Constantia before, if you haven't heard of DuePoint before, well then we don't have much credibility in your mind. And so if we are to form any relationship going forward, and that's really what we want to do, from this day we hope that you start building trust in our business. But you are very welcome to be discerning and skeptical and go do a background check on us, because that is going to be required, that you start trusting this business if we are to propose any partnership or collaboration. So go do that for yourself. The senior staff members here at DuePoint are these people up on screen. So the first three individuals are registered chartered accountants. Sounds very fancy. They look after and are responsible for a number of fairly important aspects in our business. So namely the auditing requirements, our accounting requirements, and probably most importantly the regulatory requirements that we have to abide by with regards to financial services regulation in South Africa. Brendan is our senior executive. He heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services. He was the Chief Operating Officer of Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, who are based down the road. It's a family business. His father has been very successful in the insurance space. I think that's where he cut his teeth on finance and insurance. There we go. Welcome, grab a seat. We've just started, so you're not too late. So Dr. Brian Benfield, Brendan's father, he founded Clientele Life. He started the IFA all those many years ago. He's headed up a number of businesses in South Africa. They've also got businesses in Europe. They've helped assist found businesses in Australia. So massive financial pedigree in Brendan. And then Brendan and his brother Stuart, following their father's footsteps together, they founded Prime Meridian down the road. So we're very lucky to have Brendan heading up this division. Then Jane and myself, we're the non-accountants. Nonetheless, we're still in charge of important aspects of the business. Jane is very experienced in network marketing or referral marketing and direct sales. She's been involved in that industry pretty much all her working career. She's from the UK, so she brings some wonderful international experience to our business with regards to that aspect of our business. So I often hear people trying to label us as a network marketing business, which is what we aren't. We're not a network marketing business. We're an insurance business, right? But the marketing model that we've adopted is one of network marketing. And that's really where the collaboration and where the proposition comes in to form this collaboration, because we depend on people, members of the public, to get involved in our business to help us grow our business by marketing our business. And so Jane's experience is paramount to our success here at DuePoint. And then myself, I've been working in advertising, particularly in creative direction and branding in the digital space for the last 25 years. I ran my own digital agency for 15 years. We worked also fairly heavily in the financial space. I did particularly a lot of work with Investec, So that's kind of a little bit of background on me. I exited that business. It still exists today. The agency is still running, but I joined the team here at DuePoint. Our mandate as staff of DuePoint is to support everybody that joins us. So we are in a very fortunate position in today's age where we can rely on technology to pretty much take care of a lot of the systems and operations in our business. That allows us the opportunity to focus all of our effort and support in making sure that the people that decide to join us here at DuePoint are being effective at what they do, because that leads to profitability for you. We want to see people getting involved in our business, getting or becoming profitable as quickly as possible. That's the only reason you'll stick around anyway. So it serves our business interest to make sure you're effective and profitable. And ultimately, we want to have social impact. There's a new term being bandied around. Have you heard it? Social entrepreneurship. It's not just about returns for a business. Business now is starting to evolve towards having social impact, and that is very much one of the big drivers in this business. And if we can get all those things right, then I think we will create a successful collaboration. So in our interests as well as in your interests. Very quickly, we discuss kind of the necessity of this business. So unfortunately, it's negative. Right? Wanting more money generally has negative roots. It is born out of necessity. And South Africa's economic circumstance currently, sure, serves that necessity well, or should I say, is a disservice to the necessity. I'm not sure which. But you can see we highlight debt, so that four-letter word up on the screen that people seem to have a love-hate relationship with. Everyone's indebted. It can serve a good purpose, but it can also become an absolute thorn in your side for decades. So I'm not going to labor on too much about circumstance that South Africans find themselves in from a financial perspective. I don't know if there's any hope on the horizon for people. I see the announcement today that petrol's going up another 40 cents a litre at the end of the month. I've been looking at the Brent crude oil price that has gone up $10 a barrel, so that's gone up about 12% in the last month. So I assume that tail is still going to reach South Africa in the next few weeks, and so it's going to keep going up, and so inflation is going to keep nailing consumers, and our salaries aren't going to keep up. Nothing has changed in the last 7 years, right? So when I say our business is born out of necessity, it's exactly that. South Africans need to start taking charge of their income. If you're going to sit back and wait for your circumstance to change, you're going to wait till the cows come home, right? Not even the cows come home, at least at the end of the day. It's going to take a lot longer than that. And so everyone will have their own reasons why a business like this is attractive, why wanting to make additional income is attractive. So I'm not going to try to answer that question, but we certainly pay cognizance to the circumstance that we unfortunately find ourselves in. And so 2.5 years ago, we saw a opportunity to create a business that allows members of the public, South Africans, to change their circumstance financially. And so we launched the DuePoint system with a number of aspirations in mind. So our business is, at least this division is 2.5 years old. We launched it in February 2016. And the aspirations that we had in mind for the business, the reason why we launched the business, I talk about social impact, is we decided to create a division that creates wealth. Not once-off, sales-based, commission-based, activity-based income. That doesn't lead to wealth. That just makes you more money. There are many examples of people that make from 5,000 Rand a month. You can have people earning 150,000 Rand a month. There's no assumption that the person earning more is wealthier, because the person earning more could just have a bigger bond on a house and a more expensive car that they've leased over 7 years, right? And so when we talk about wealth creation, well, there's almost a paradigm shift that is required by people that get involved in our business, by society at large. And that paradigm shift is to stop thinking like consumers and start thinking like someone who actually wants to create wealth in their lifetime. That starts off with getting rid of our debt as quickly as possible. And you can align yourself to the aspiration or not. We're certainly not dictating how you should spend your money, but we want to achieve this paradigm shift where people start thinking, well, let me actually aspire, if I start creating additional income, to getting rid of my debt, because that becomes a platform to create wealth. You create wealth through the ownership of assets, and those can take on a plethora of different forms, but they hopefully become assets that you have ownership of, that appreciate over time, and that create an annuity income, and that's where wealth lies. So that's kind of the vision that we have for the business. How do you practically get involved in this business? As guests, you have the opportunity to join DuePoint. That's an application form that takes 5 minutes. Once you join our business, we refer to you as wealth engineers. So everyone at DuePoint is a wealth engineer. And as a wealth engineer, you have a single task, and that is to build something that we call a channel of distribution. That's where our reliance on you falls, that you create a channel of distribution into which we can sell and market our products, right? So it's not a business principle that not everyone is aware of. Every company has various channels of distribution. We rely on you to create our channel of distribution. So how do you do that? You go out and you tell people about DuePoint. As simple as that. If you're successful in that process, where we're able to get someone that you've introduced to us to become wealth engineers and a product owner at DuePoint, that success leads to you building a channel of distribution, in turn leads to a host of benefits. So this whole slide is going to explain to you all the benefits of DuePoint. This is where you're going to decide, okay, this is a business I can consider. All right. So the primary benefit, obviously, is additional income. But the nature of the income is fairly important, because we don't pay people for their activity here at DuePoint. We pay you for the channel of distribution that you start building. You start building an asset at DuePoint, and the asset is what creates the income. So you might be thinking, well, what's the difference? The difference is that recurring income is not constrained by time. So take, for example, your salaries. Your employment is activity-based. Your mandate is to work for an entire month to earn a monthly income, right? If you decide not to go to work next month, is your boss going to pay you anything? No, right? You might get 2 written warnings, a disciplinary process, and then you get fired, right? That's the process. But if you have an asset that you own that is creating income, well, then it doesn't matter what you do next month. As long as you still own the asset, and the asset is still in the same state it was last month, you'll still derive the same income. And that's why recurring income, some people refer to it as passive income or annuity income, is extremely valuable when you start looking at wealth or asset creation. And that's what we do here. And I'll illustrate that with a couple of wealth engineers a bit later in the presentation. Power duplication, this is something that's inherent to network marketing businesses that makes network marketing typically very attractive. And it's the remuneration model that allows you to build a team, that allows you to build a greater asset and more income that much faster. If you can build a team of people that collaborate with you effectively in building a channel of distribution, that is a benefit that you want to leverage as much as possible, right? Our business is flexi-time. Just means the technology we've imposed here allows you to build your channel of distribution at any time of the day, anywhere in South Africa. Our entire business runs off a mobile phone. Simple as that. You can do business literally anywhere at any time. We don't have startup capital required in this business, so to become a wealth engineer, there's no registration fees or starter kits, there's no boxes of product that you have to buy, there's no huge investment that you have to make, there's no lump sum of money that you have to pay across to our business. We've designed the business specifically to have a very low barrier to entry. 1, so that it becomes as accessible as possible to South Africans, and 2, because we've got full confidence in our business system. Right? If we didn't have confidence, if this was, like I like to call them, a smash and grab scheme, I would put on the best presentation, get you really excited, and then tell you it's 4,000 or 5,000 rand to join. Because I know you're not going to be around next month, right? But the purpose of this business, the vision that we have, is to develop long-term relationships with people that become invested in helping us create channels of distribution. And so I know that if you can get into the business with very little risk involved, that means you can consider the opportunity, even if you're skeptical, to try the business without any fear of risk being involved in this business. We don't have qualifications or experience requirements, again, lending to the accessibility. You get to build an asset that you have ownership over. So this is very important. You have legal tender over your channel of distribution that you get to build. We've got systems that track exactly what your channel of distribution looks like, and it's treated as an asset that you can sell. Because it's an asset, it doesn't retire you, right? I always joke when your boss asks you what cake you like and you're around 60 years old and it's not your birthday month, you know there's a problem. That's called a retirement party, right? Early retirement, maybe retrenchment. Your active income ends, right? If you're injured and you don't have insurance, your income ends. There is a lot of risk attached to activity-based income, i.e. employment. But if you have assets that you own, those assets don't disappear. Whether you retired, whether you become incumbent, whether you even die, your assets don't disappear. You can seed your DuePoint business in your will to beneficiaries and be one of the very few South Africans that actually passes wealth on to the next generation. There's no selling involved in this business. So you might have arrived at the presentation thinking, well, I'm going to have to do selling here at DuePoint, right? We actually contract you out of selling completely. In your code of conduct, it explicitly states you may not mention anything about our products to anyone. That's a great thing. You don't have to learn products. You don't have to have products in your boot. You don't have to drive around with products. You don't have to think about products. There's no prospect of having to sell investments or insurance products to anyone. The only thing you're mandated to do is go out and tell people about the business opportunity at DuePoint. Your one task is to get people in front of this presentation. And that's where my job comes in. I will tell them about the balance of the business, our background. I will tell them about the products that they can consider taking in becoming wealth engineers, and that's where your job ends, right? Your job is only to get people to watch the presentation. So in other words, tell them about the business opportunity, not the products. But then in saying so, our products are financial in nature. It means we don't have stock and distribution issues, and so the products in themselves are convenient. So that's the list of benefits, but your success is very much predicated on your ability to build this thing called a channel of distribution. So how do you do that? Well, you know you've got to go out and tell people about the business opportunity. So if you do that, let's say you go and speak to 10 people, a percentage of those people will catch the vision, right? We discussed the necessity. Every South African is part of our target market because almost every South African suddenly needs to start making second income because employment is just not cutting it. And in this example, you've got 5 people that became wealth engineers because of your efforts, and product owners. And now those people, being wealth engineers, are going to go out and do exactly the same thing. So this is where the power of duplication comes into effect. You need to build as strong a business as possible. And so do not bring under-resourced people into your business, no matter how desperate you are to grow your channel, right? Bring strong people in that you believe will thrive as wealth engineers, that have the resources to do this business. Because if you bring the strong people in at the beginning, it'll make this process so much easier. If you bring the weak, under-resourced people in here that don't build, they're not going to be effective, they're not going to become profitable in the business, and they will leave. And that behavior filters into your entire channel, right? And so does strength. If you bring strong quality people in the beginning, so does that behavior filter into the rest of your business. I want wealth engineers to build strong, sustainable channels because the purpose of building an asset is so that you are not constrained by time. So if you invest enough time into this, it'll be big enough and sustainable enough that you don't have to rely on employment. You can take a 1-month, 2-month, 3-month holiday not worrying about salary, right? That's the beauty of investing time into assets. So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. You're earning off of every single product owner that you see on the screen, right? And this is something that just keeps growing, whether you like it or not, right? We've got many wealth engineers that have even come and gone, and their businesses carry on growing without them being around. A quick warning to everybody. So I have no idea what kind of misconceptions some people arrive to this presentation at. So we give a general warning to everybody that this is an authentic entrepreneurial opportunity. And when I say that, it shares the same requirements that any business, or at least trying to make a success out of any business, shares. And that is that it requires hard work, persistency, and accountability. Right? In other words, blood, sweat, and tears. There's no way around it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to tell you this business is easy. The success of our most successful wealth engineers in the business is not a linear line to the success they've had. It is bumpy, right? If you want to be successful in any business, it requires you to do hard work. Hard work is not long hours. Hard work is doing the work when you don't feel like it, doing it when the circumstances look like they're not in your favor. That is what hard work looks like. And so if people are prepared for that, then I can say to you, success awaits you at DuePoint. And you will have to decide what that success looks like, right? Because we're going to go over exactly what you can derive out of this business. So first, let's discuss our financial products. So these are products that you are free to consider. We've got 4 products. They are all financial in nature. Their benefit is all being built around wealth in mind. So we've got investment products that help boost your asset value. We've got insurance products that protect your asset value. And then finally, we've got a product that's not actually a financial product, it's more a lifestyle product that allows you to save money every single month, right? So I'm going to go over them. They are straightforward products. There's more information on our website. We'll start with Access Wealth. It's our investment product. It's going to cost you 324 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund that resides with Sanlam. It's an actively managed fund. We've got fund managers, fund administrators. The 100 Rand invested is the minimum contribution. You can bump that up all the way to 2,500 Rand a month if you want to take full advantage of tax-free legislation that exists in South Africa for investments and savings accounts. And then on top of the investment, we give you a little bit of insurance to the value of 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident death cover. So if you're killed in any form of accident, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand, and you've got full access to the fund. There's no restriction or notice period on withdrawing those funds, right? So it takes us 5 to 7 working days to make that transaction. But that's our investment product. Straightforward, tax-free investment fund with a little bit of insurance. It's called Access Wealth. It's going to cost you 324 every month. Then second, we've got our Wealth Guard product. So this is personal accident death cover only. It is 249 Rand a month, but this time you get a whopping 1 million Rands worth of personal accident death cover. So the beauty of our personal accident death cover products is that there's no discrimination with regards to age or health. Right? So typically, if you're familiar with any insurance products, they want to profile your risk. So they'll generally profile every individual's risk, whether it's short-term insurance, long-term insurance, doesn't matter. They want to know your age, where your car's parked, your family history, everything, your behaviors, your habits, so that they can profile you and your premium will be adjusted accordingly. What we've done with this product is we've made it the same for every single person over the age of 18. So regardless of your age, your health status, the premium is 249. You get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident death cover. So that is Wealth Guard. Thirdly, we've got Family Wealth. Family Wealth is our funeral cover product. So it covers your funeral costs. It starts at 299. You get 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. It covers up to 5 family members or dependents. And also you get 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection. So if you have any money that you owe to anyone upon your death, we'll pay out up to 10,000 Rand, and then you can increase your cover to 30,000 Rand as well as up to 10 family members or dependents. And again, the beauty of this product is that we've made it the same for everybody over the age of 18. We don't have any excluded pre-existing conditions, and regardless of your age, the premium stays the same for everybody. So again, wonderfully accessible, straightforward products. And then Wealth Points is our final product. It's going to cost you 299 Rand a month. With this product, we've designed it so that we are able to lower your cost of living every month. So you think about all the money that you spend every month habitually, right? Your cost of living expenses. What we've done is we've approached a number of companies to try cover that spectrum of cost of living expenses. So we've got data partners, we've got groceries, we've got online retailers, we've got car manufacturers, we've got restaurants and entertainment, hotels through the entertainer. So we've got a plethora of different options. And we've negotiated discounts with the majority of these businesses. So, for example, always on Wi-Fi data, typically for a gig, it would cost you 100 Rand. We've negotiated them down to 37 Rand for a gig. ShopRite Checkers, they give us 2.5% off your entire trolley as much as you want to shop at ShopRite Checkers, right? So the discounts vary with all of them, but you kind of understand what the aim of this product is. So if you're looking for immediate benefit, Wealth Points is the product to take, and we are adding new partners to this product all the time. So we're about to add a new telecoms partner in the next week to this product without the premium or the subscription fee going up on this product. So as I said, more information on our website. We've got in-depth review videos on each of the products if you really want to get into the details of each one of those. This slide illustrates our business model. Some people want to understand how we're able to pay our wealth engineers. We even give away cars and holidays and all kinds of things. It is basically in the fact that we don't do any marketing or advertising. So traditional insurance companies spend a fortune on marketing and advertising, right? Especially the bigger they get, the budget just gets massive. At DuePoint, we don't do any advertising, so we don't spend a cent on marketing at DuePoint. Why? Because we rely on our wealth engineers to go build those channels of distribution. And so we take that portion of our budget, right, so that line item in our managed accounts. We don't throw it away. We just apportion it to our wealth engineers instead of marketing, because we're relying on you for the growth, right? So the two ways for you to benefit out of DuePoint is through the two programs that we have. So we've got something called the returns program and the rewards program. We'll discuss the rewards program a little later, but the primary way to benefit, the money that you get paid every single month, is through the returns program. And the returns program works like this. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel, but it is dependent on where the channel lies in relation to you. So the closer the product is to you, the more you get paid, right? The further the product away from you, you see that multiplier starts to drop. So on the first point, so these are people that you introduce personally to your channel of distribution. Those are people we say that product lies on your first point, and on your first point you actually get paid 55 Rand for every product. Then when those people go out and connect other people successfully to DuePoint, that product lies on your second point. And again, you get paid 55 Rand. And then the multiplier drops to 100% at point 3, and then it drops steadily all the way down to point 8. So if you grow your channel 8 points deep, you'll be earning all of that at point 8. We don't actually limit you there. So you can carry on, well, your channel will grow, whether you like it or not, beyond point 8, but we don't limit you at point 8. So you'll keep earning the 4% from point 8 outwards, in theory, to infinity. There's no limitation on how big your channel can get at DuePoint. We don't limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. Right? I always say it's just time and numbers. Time and numbers. You can't manipulate time, so don't worry about the time. Be patient enough for time to run its course, because you start losing a little control out of, from point 1 and 2 outwards. So you just have to wait for these other wealth engineers to develop your channel. So if you have the patience to wait and you are pushing hard enough so that your first point keeps developing, you can get to any point you want in this business, really. But people want to know, well, how much money do people earn in this business? What can I expect to earn in this business? How long does it take to get to a certain amount of money? We built a projection over the next 5 years to give people a good understanding of what's possible, and it's a realistic projection. We've taken a fairly moderate approach to the projection. It is assuming a certain activity. That activity is what we call the 3+2 growth model. It means in your first month you can connect 3 people in the business, and every consecutive month thereafter you only have to connect 2 people. So that's the activity. 3 in October, 2 in November, 2 in December, 2 in January. Keep connecting 2 new people every single month, right? 1 person every 2 weeks. So that's why I say fairly moderate. After 6 months, you should be earning about 2,500 Rand a month. I'm never sure what people think about when I say 2,500 Rand a month after 6 months worth of work. I'm not sure whether people deem that to be worth the time or the effort, but it is certainly an opportunity to discuss the power of paying your debt off a little bit faster, because it's very easy to go, oh, what can 2,500 Rand buy me? Imagine I put 2,500 Rand under your chairs this evening. How long would that money last in your wallets, in your handbag? How long? It's Tuesday night. Maybe by tomorrow, maybe by Friday, it's still around. Definitely finished by Sunday, right? And that's exactly how we think, right? We think like consumers. We look at 2,500 Rand, we know that there is spending value attached to the 2,500 Rand. But if you're trying to build wealth, right, there is great benefit in paying your debt off faster. Paying your debt off faster is exactly the same exercise as investing money, right? If you go speak to any CA, anyone who thinks they know something about money, and ask them, what should I pay off first? Should I invest my money or should I pay off my debt? If they know anything, they should tell you, whatever's got the highest interest rate, you sort that out first. And typically debt has got much higher interest rates than what investments have, right? You think about a savings account, maybe, savings accounts are giving you maybe 3%, 2.5%, 1.5% with a little bit of money we have in it. Maybe if you go into Investec and you've got R1 million to deposit there, you can get maybe 7%, close to 7% on that. But your debt, what are you paying on debt? The best rate you're going to get is probably on a bond, and that's at prime +1, prime +2, right? Get rid of the debt as quickly as possible. That's where you're hurting the most. That's where the most amount of money is going towards with regards to interest. So here we've got example. You think 2,500 Rand is not worth much. You've got a R1 million bond over a 20-year term at prime +2. You're paying back the bank 11,500 Rand a month for 20 years before you become a homeowner. You put that money in as an additional payment, you'll pay the bond off in 11.5 years instead of 20. You've just saved yourself 900,000 Rand in interest repayments you would have made to the bank. because the bank charges you over 20 years, typically 2.5 times the value of the asset. You would have paid the bank 2.5 million rand for a 1 million rand house. And people think houses are investments. Right? Get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. Then it becomes close to an investment. At month 12, you're earning nearly 9,000 rand a month. So that's in excess of 100,000 rand in annual recurring income. Does anyone even know anyone who got a 100,000 rand bonus? Right? You keep going. At month 24, you should be getting close to 30,000 rand a month. At month 36, you'll be getting close to 50,000 rand a month. Month 48, remember, you're still doing two new people on your first point every single month. You'll be close to 70,000 rand a month. And after 5 years, 60 months, you'll be close to about 85,000 rand, is about 1 million rand in annual recurring income. Now imagine getting a 1 million rand check every single year from DuePoint over and above your salary. I don't even know if anyone can even believe that's possible, right? Can you believe getting an extra 1 million rand of income? You don't believe it? You don't have to believe it yet. It's small steps. Get to the 2,500 rand and you know you're on the track, right? You're on the road. But I'm happy for people to argue, well, this is just academic, right? I mean, the graph can keep going and we can claim to be billionaires in 10 years' time. And so it's very important for us to bring real people into the presentation. So we call it testimonies. That's kind of like the reviews column on Amazon, right? Everyone believes the reviews more than they believe the marketing exec. And so we've got some reviews. So we've got a number of wealth engineers that we bring up every single month. So we must have about 100 testimonies on our YouTube channel. You're free to go watch them. But these are basically just some numbers that reflect what's been happening for some of our wealth engineers. And we don't only bring up the superstars. So if you go onto YouTube, you'll see we've got some of our top performers featured there. But we generally try to bring in people that have persisted in the business, whether they've done what you might deem well or not, right? Because the persistence is what's key, rather than how much money you're actually earning. But you've got to combine the two, so you'll have to decide for yourself. So we've got Sandra here. Sandra joined us 2 years ago. She got stuck in, very committed at the beginning, unfortunately for a short amount of time. 6, 7 months she was in, she built a substantial channel, and then she just disappeared. We didn't see her again. So we paid her just over 21,000 rand in that period. She built a channel that is 8 points wide. She's got nearly 400 people in her business. But the important thing, so the point that I want to make is we don't pay Sandra for her activity. Her activity will lead to building a channel. We pay her for the channel. And so even though she was gone for an entire year, we didn't see her, we didn't hear from her, she did nothing in her business, we still paid her 5,600 rand. Because we pay her for the asset that she built. Look, putting 6 months into channel building is not substantial, right? To build sustainable business, I think 4 or 5 years before you can walk away from the business and it should sustain itself to a degree. Then we've got Casper and Madeleine. So a very similar story. Joined the week we launched the business, so 2.5 years ago. Casper's gone from, the ranks will make sense to you a little bit later, but they went from rank 2 to 5 in the last few months. Their current channel value, so the amount of money that their channel's worth currently is over 7,000 rand every single month. To date, we've paid them nearly 50,000 rand. They've got over 500 people in their channel, and their channel is 13 points. So you can see the numbers are all a little bit all over the place. We've got Casper and Madeleine, channel size is 13 points, but only over 500. Then we've got Sandra, who's got nearly 500, but her channel's 8 points wide, right? So people will it'll be different for everybody. But the important story here is, again, they had great success. What Casper did really well at the beginning is he brought strong people in on his first point, because his personal activity has not been great. He knows that. When he comes here, we berate him and say, Casper, you need to get stuck in more. But he had one person on his first point that just exploded. He's literally the reason why there's 13 points in Casper's business. And so it's so important to try bring in people that you think will thrive in this business, right? It'll help you so much more. It is a benefit that you want to leverage as much as possible. And so they've got a lot of value that they can still unlock in this business. And then we've got Lynette. Lynette's a pensioner from Vanderbijl Park. Her entire family got retrenched, and her own words is, she doesn't have a plan B, which can be a good thing. Right? When your back's up against the wall and there's no other option, I promise you, DuePoint has become the priority for it, to the extent where her husband has joked and said if he dies on a day that they're doing a DuePoint introductory presentation, she's not going to be at his funeral. So 100% committed to the business. The value of her channel is sitting at over 16,000 a month already. She's got 19 points in her business, nearly 2,000 people in her business, and we've paid her nearly 140,000 Rand. She started the year out as rank 3. She's gone rank 8 this month. Next month, we think she's going to go rank 9. So then she'll have 1,000 people that she'll be earning off. She'll be coming to our international conference at the end of the year to Mauritius. But again, her 2017 was flat. If she was one of these people that went, oh, well, the business isn't looking good and circumstances are getting tough, she would have quit in 2017. But she didn't. And now her income in the last year, her income has tripled. Because she just carried on pushing. And then suddenly, for whatever reason, 2018 just took off for her. That is what business is like. Anyone that tells you that, oh, just come do this and you're going to be rich. If you just do this and you do that, it's easy and you'll be rich. Lying to your face, right? I don't know how many people have tried starting their own businesses. Easy to start your business, to make it successful, whole nother ball game. All right. Fortunately, you get to partner with a company that has got a lot of experience in the space and success in the space at the same time. So we've got thousands of people joining the business. Every single month, everybody is different. I like to compare it to comrades. Everyone's running a different race. We have the people that sprint the first kilometer, and we generally walk past them at the 5-kilometer mark. They're sitting on the side of the road out of breath, right? For me, you've got to be practical in your approach about the business. You're not going to become a millionaire by December. What are we trying to do in this business is create long-term relationships where people can create sustainable income for themselves, i.e. wealth. And so for me, the decision is not so much what you want. It's not want. It's easy to decide what you want. We all want more money. We want to be millionaires. We want to be wealthy. But practically, for you to get into this business and start being able to apply it and derive profit out of the business, for me, the practical decision is, how does DuePoint fit into your life? Can you be here every single Tuesday night for the next 5 years? That's the question I want you to answer in your head. Because I'm not going to lie to you. If you treat this like a New Year's resolution or a hobby, or you do it only when you feel like it, you're not going to get anywhere. You can have all the excitement that you want, but practically you have to make a decision that how do you sustainably account to what's required in this business. That for me is the decision. How are you going to fit DuePoint into your life going forward? Getting started, very straightforward. You become a wealth engineer in 5 minutes. Application form is on the mobile app. It's on our website. Then start applying yourself to the business. So we've got a lot of training, absolutely for free. Lots of valuable training on YouTube. Set goals for yourself. So this is the only way you're going to develop a plan or a strategy at DuePoint, is by setting a goal. So that goal is going to be, I want 5,000 Rand a month in 6 months' time. I want 10,000 Rand a month in 12 months' time. Whatever it is, because we can work that back. We know what activity is required to get to a certain amount of money in a certain time. So if you say to me, I want 9,000 Rand in a year's time, well, then I know you need to be growing at 2, 3 on your first point every single month. That might mean you have to speak to 10 people a month to get 2 or 3 to join, right? So there's a ratio that exists there. That is the number you have to worry about. How many people do you have to speak to, whether they say yes or no, to result in 2 or 3 people joining every month, so that you can get to your goal of 9,000, 10,000 Rand a month after 12 months. That's as simple as this business is. Just about speaking to people. We will do the rest of the work, right? This video, this intro presentation does the rest of the work. Branding, aka credibility, is not a profit center for us. So please consider getting merchandise. It'll empower you in being more successful. Instead of speaking to 10 people to get 2 to join, maybe speak to 8 people to get 2 to join. It happens when you have meetings with people, because people unfortunately sum you up in a split second. Right? If I walked in here, everyone's already made a judgment call on who I am, the business. You do that automatically. It's human nature, right? And when you go out and you try to connect people to this business called DuePoint that they've never heard of, I promise you they're going to take note of the shoes you're wearing, the way you dress, the way you speak, whether you have business cards, whether you take the business seriously, whether you even bothered to have merchandise of the company that you're a so-called proponent of. So please consider getting merchandise. It will help you. It is a very small investment to make. Business cards for me are probably the most important. So we can send them anywhere in the country. It takes us about 2-3 weeks to get the business card printed. You get 500 cards. All right. Join the Facebook page. very active there. A lot of the wealth engineers use that to leverage their connections, so they will share a lot of the posts to people that they know on Facebook. The YouTube platform, all of our videos are on there, so we've got tons of videos. It's all categorized, fortunately. But more importantly, it's the platform that we use to broadcast to the entire country. So if you want to start your channel or start a part of your channel in Cape Town tomorrow, you only have to WhatsApp someone a link or email it to them, tell them, click on this YouTube link, watch the presentation, and I'll phone you afterwards. Whether they say yes or no. Do that to a few people, suddenly you've got a channel sprouting up in Cape Town, right? That's all because of the YouTube channel, because of technology. So leverage that as much as you can. Download our mobile app, available for Android and Apple devices. It's literally your business in the palm of your hand. That's all you require, is that mobile phone, and you're good to go, right? We make business extremely easy. Then on to our XP Rewards program. So don't forget about the rewards program. The rewards program is the cherry on top, and it is a very visceral experience. You can see already there's palm trees and beaches, blue sky, very different to the rest of the presentation, which has been grey and drab. I don't see accountants. We've got more accountants in the business than designers. So how does the XP Rewards program work? We reward you for the success you have in building your channel as an active wealth engineer. So if you become a wealth engineer today, you will start out as what we call a rank 0 wealth engineer. So you're not even on the slide yet. But to get onto the slide is fairly straightforward. You only need 1,000 XP. What is XP? XP stands for experience points. You get XP for everything that you do as a wealth engineer. You can get 1,000 XP in 30 seconds. You need 4 products in your qualified channel, and when you meet those 2 criteria, you become rank 1, and we give you an extra 55 Rand reward at the end of the month for your efforts. It's once off, it's not recurring, right? So it might sound like very humble beginnings. You can't exactly get excited over 55 Rand. Maybe you can pay for 1 litre of petrol next year, but you've just proven to yourself that you can get to any rank in our business, because the rank 20s at the bottom there are doing exactly the same thing the rank 1s are. They've got a number on the fridge that says, this is how many people I need to speak to every single month. And the rank 1 should be doing the same. The only thing that separates you is time. Time and endurance. And then as you rank up, right, your channel's getting bigger, you're collecting more XP, the rewards get bigger and better. There's a 20,000 Rand and a 50,000 Rand check waiting for you. We give little tools to our wealth engineers to help them build their channels a little more easily, a little more effectively. If you want fancy business cards, we talk about the power of credibility and branding. At rank 7, we spent 12,500 Rand manufacturing 1 set of business cards for you. Because there's no ink on these business cards, so there's no actual printing process. These are manufactured, so there's gilding done on the sides like the old Bibles have. The logo is emblazoned in gold across the front, so they are gold foiled cards, and you get 1,000 of these cards. That will certainly make impression when you go to meetings, right? Because your card is about 100 times more expensive than anyone else's. At rank 9, we take you and your family to our rank 9 international conference every single year for the rest of your life, once you get to rank 9. Because you don't earn at DuePoint based on activity. It's based on your asset value here at DuePoint. So if you build a channel that is in excess of 1,000 paying product owners in your qualified channel, you are on rank 9 for the rest of your life, right? So it's business class flights to a 5-star luxury resort. It's 7 days away. It's an all expenses paid trip for your entire family that you get to enjoy until your days are done on the earth. So take a look at our last trip. There we go. So take a look. This is our last trip that we've documented. This is the resort we went to. It was the Western Turtle Bay in Mauritius. We're going to a different resort this year.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sound where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
Can you smell the sea breeze? It's not far away. Our rank 9 invitations went out last week to the rank 9s. So this is available for everybody, and it is up to you how long you want to take to get to rank 9. A lot of people aspire towards rank 9. I think they find it super exciting. It is. So some wealth engineers took 5 months to get to rank 9. Some have taken a year. Some have taken 2 years. At 3 plus 2, so according to our projection, it'll take you between 2 and 3 years to get to rank 9. But we don't reset your XP. You're building an asset that doesn't get reset to 0 like your salary and your activity every single month. And so you can take 5 years, 10 years to get to rank 9. It is up to you. 2 ranks later at rank 11, we spent R250,000 buying our wealth engineers a brand new car. So we pay cash for that car. It gets put in your name. There are no T's and C's related to this car. Once it's yours, it's yours. There's no branding on the car. It's yours to drive off the parking lot. We have a little bit of fanfare to celebrate you reaching rank 11. But boy, wouldn't it be great to be driving around a car with no debit order at the end of the month. And that's rank 11. So that's a taster of what our rewards program looks like. The rewards program actually goes up to rank 28. We've got wealth engineers that have reached rank 11 in 2 years. So again, it's up to you how quickly you want to get through this. The rest of our year, we've got some activity, not so much activity, more opportunity available for people for the balance of the year. We've already had 2, this is our road show, so we call them national encounters. We've already had Durban and Port Elizabeth, so these are the 3 left. And there's an opportunity to build your channel anywhere in South Africa. You can make note of these dates, and what I would do, I'd make note of the dates and the destinations, and I'd figure out if I know anyone at any of these places. Make a couple of phone calls, see who's willing to go to this business presentation. You never know. You could suddenly have channels sprouting up in the Free State, Bombela, and in the Western Cape. So these are wonderful opportunities. You'll go find them on our events page. So go to the website, click on events. You'll see the encounters there. Register for them. Register your guests, and see how many people will go there. You never know. You could have a national channel before the end of the year. So that is my invitation to our guests. You have I'm inviting you to come try out this business, to join us here at DuePoint. We are all about prosperity. We want to see, it is in both our interests, we want to see people being effective and profitable in this business, building wealth, sustainable wealth, when there's so much risk attached to employment nowadays, and is really just opportunity to mitigate that risk. Do not wait for crisis before we suddenly decide, oh, we need to suddenly do something. Like so many of the people that join this business, we hear the stories. They are endless, and they're going to carry on coming through. So if you have any questions, come speak to me. Otherwise, I wish everyone a very prosperous balance of the year. I hope you haven't written 2018 off. There's still lots of 2018 left. You can change the year around. I know we're all moaning about 2018. You think 2019 is going to be better. I hope it will be. I hope the balance of 2018 will be better, but I believe it's through this platform. So you're welcome to come chat to me, ask me any questions. Otherwise, good luck. Thank you.